The USA is a very big country. It lies between Canada and Mexico and between the Pacific and the Atlantic Oceans. There are 50 states in the USA, including Alaska and Hawaii, which are separated from the rest of the states. The USA is a federal republic. The head of state is the president. He lives and works in the White House in Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia, which isn't a state. Each state has got its governor and its laws, but there are also federal laws. The flag of the USA is called Stars and Stripes. There are 50 stars, the 50 states today, and 13 stripes, the first 13 states. The first inhabitants of the USA came to America through Siberia and Alaska from Asia. They were ancestors of the Native Americans. In 1492, Christopher Columbus arrived in the Caribbean and thought he was in India. That's why he called the natives Indians. The first settlers came from Europe nearly 70 years later. In the 17th century, there were settlers from France, the Netherlands, Germany, Sweden, and Great Britain. In the 18th century, African slaves arrived to work in the plantations. The first 13 colonies were part of the British Empire, but wanted to be independent. So there was the American Revolution. The colonies won the war and founded the USA. George Washington was the first president. The first colonies were on the East Coast. Boston and New York City were the first big cities. Pioneers traveled west and took the land from the Native Americans through wars and mass killings. Then the natives were segregated into small reservations. They were not considered American. For more than 30 years, the U.S. Army and the natives fought each other, but the natives lost their land. In the 19th century, gold was discovered in California. A lot of people from all over the world went to live there to work in the mines. In the south of the USA, there were big farms, and the owners used slaves in the plantations. The northern states were against slavery, so the states in the south wanted to be independent. There was a civil war. It lasted 4 years. The northern states won the war and slavery was abolished. But in the South, racial segregation remained for many years. Immigrants arrived in the USA from all over the world until the 20th century. The American motto is E pluribus unum. This means that many different nationalities formed one nation. The immigrants brought their national traditions in the USA, and they were all mixed together in a multicultural nation. This is why the USA was called the Great Melting Pot.